Coming from the secure and lush stateroom aboard the USS Aventura.
I'm Dave Ward.
And I'm James Nimmons, and this is PopSatellite.
Well, at least we got some seats and a table.
Yeah, I mean, well, you kind of own this ship. Yeah, I won't tell you where you can find this ship, but it can be found if you look real hard. For the USS Aventura, you can find it.
Aventador, actually.
Or Aventador, sorry.
Yeah, like the car.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's one clue.
Federation Dreadnought class.
We are such nerds.
So, I've got some juicy headlines from last time, and some new stuff coming out that looks really cool, and some cancellations that might jaw drop you. The season 3 villain for Daredevil, if no one has picked up on it yet, is Bullseye. And of course, Kingpin's going to be there, but they always have a different villain per season. So this year it's Bullseye, or this season rather.
I wonder who's going to play him.
You know what? I haven't seen. I have not looked. Now that you asked that, now I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, because OCD. Yeah, I wonder who's going to play him. Cause
who plays Bullseye and Daredevil?
That's a person we'll probably be interested in, unless he sucks. There is a chance that it could just suck.
I doubt it. What is wrong? What is wrong with you?
But so far, I can't really comment on Daredevil because I haven't watched it. I've seen clips that you've shown me, and they were pretty impressive, especially because of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. And yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff out there that I live under a rock, apparently. That I don't get
Wilson Bethel.
Wilson Bethel. That sounds like a man in the 30s. I'm Wilson Bethel.
Well, let us look up Mr. Bethel, because I've never heard of him either.
Mr. Wilson Bethel has come to town.
Let's see here. And he's probably somebody really famous that you and I have never heard of, but everyone else has, and everybody's going to be like, you guys are stupid.
You got his IMDb up there?
Yeah, Wilson Bethel. Let's see here. He's from New Hampshire. He was born in 1984. Oh. Known for Heart of Dixie, Generation Kill, Inherent Vice, How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of that.
No, let's see
admit.
Here. No, nothing real. He played astronaut Scott Carpenter in the Astronaut Wives Club.
I didn't watch that either.
That was I think it was an HBO show. I never watched it either.
Club. Huh.
Yeah, it was about it was supposedly about all of the wives of all the early NASA astronauts and how they coped and their lives and everything. I just never watched it.
Yeah, that sounds boring to me.
Not particularly.
It could be a good show. Who knows?
Not particularly entertaining for me either. I would rather watch what happened going on at the space program with the astronauts.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Ron Howard's Apollo 13.
That was a very good adaptation.
Yeah. So I mean, stuff like that can appeal to me, but it just doesn't sound like something I would. It's the title, I guess, that puts me off. So
you and I both have looked at, speaking of another preview, the She-Ra preview. They're using DreamWorks animation on the Netflix version. So do you have any better feelings about it after seeing that, or no?
Well, just because it's DreamWorks doesn't mean it's going to be good. I'm glad you brought that up, because She-Ra was an item I wanted to touch on. Not exactly. I'm going to quote a lot of pieces today from www.boundingintocomics.com, and because it was just a happy coincidence, and every single one of them coincidentally was written by one of their writers, John F. Trent. So there's the credit there before I start.
Alrighty.
Melandy Britt, that's her name, not Melody. Melandy Britt is the original voice for She-Ra, and she went on Facebook to defend fans from being censored by the people who are making She-Ra. And for DreamWorks, and the misrepresentation by the Nerdist. And I'm gonna say here, it's not made for you. Or the straw man that Jamal Engel, you know, I don't even know who he is. I just saw that he was one of the shit talkers that was putting down fans. Like, if she's not sexy enough for you, you need to rethink your lives. That's a shaming tactic. No one's like saying she should be sexy, but they're saying she should be what she was. You know, I mean, it's
somewhat.
It's
that
just
would
like
be nice.
It's just like Wonder Woman. She was very tasteful to begin with.
Right.
She's dressed nothing that a cheerleader wouldn't have on. The original She-Ra. You know, she wasn't sexy, or she was more mature. She didn't look like a tomboy, and she didn't look like because she was feminine, right? She-Ra was like victory of the feminine, doing what He-Man did. She was pretty, but she was just as strong as He-Man.
Right.
She didn't have to be.
She was the female equivalent to He-Man.
She didn't have to look like a girl's fucking volleyball player. Well, actually, girls' volleyball players are cute. A girl's softball player.
You know, now that I think about it, though, going back to that cartoon, the cartoons, she was more covered than he was.
Yeah, totally more covered than he was. But nobody talks about that.
I mean, think about it, because what did He-Man wear?
He didn't have any armor.
He wore a loincloth,
and
those
straps.
those boots, and that straps across his bare chest.
Yeah.
And like the loincloth was like maybe mid thigh at best.
Yeah, and it was just fur.
She-Ra had like a knee length like skirt.
No, it wasn't knee length. It was barely covered her ass like a cheerleader skirt. But you never saw her ass because you would have to draw that. So there was no chance of anyone seeing her ass.
But you know, she had the top as well.
Yeah,
so,
she did,
and
showed
the
her
headgear.
shoulders. Yeah, the only thing that's same is the headgear in the new She-Ra.
So
I'm going to watch it because I've down talked it and it hasn't come out yet, and I haven't seen it. But I'm gonna watch it and I'll give it a chance. Just like I don't really care for the new Star Trek, but I'm still watching it, and it's improved a little, but still, I'm not going to go on board and stamp my approval all over it.
No.
But I am watching it, just to say I watched it, and there are some good parts to it, but it's fractured, and I'm getting off subject. She-Ra going to do the same thing with that. And I mentioned the Nerdist because I'd seen the Nerdist everywhere, like representing nerds. I'm like, this is good. It's nerd stuff out there. There's geek stuff out there, and I would see articles every now and then from the Nerdist, but they have some very shaming videos. And if you will go to the article on boundingintocomics.com and you put in like She-Ra, I'm guessing that you'll get this piece where it talks about Melanie Britt defending fans. And in fact, I think I have what she said here on my phone. Give me just a second and I will pull it up.
Let us see how fast the Android operates.
Yeah, boom. Okay, so I'm almost blind. So I'm going to read what Melanie Britt said. I know I may be taking a chance posting and commenting on this, but my heart has been hurting about the comments some marketing people and publicity machines are bombarding the internet with regarding some fans of the original She-Ra series. I'm actually glad that in this published article someone finally has said enough to the kind of divisive marketing, negative publicity that has been produced. Hold on a second. It went to the next picture. Has been promoted regarding the fact that some people might actually prefer the original series. It's a big world and there's enough room for many cartoons. But because the She-Ra name is being used to do a quote-unquote new series, I believe you must respect the admiration that fans have of the original, and not because you have the power of marketing or an ego trip to put them into categories that denigrate their character and insinuate that if they prefer the original, something is wrong with them. And let's see. Yeah, sorry, I zapped to the next picture again. Something is wrong with them. In meeting thousands of fans, I've never come across any person who did not have a great heart and genuine love for the integrity and pure intention of everyone around you. Sorry, hold on. Pure Intention.
So that's what you get for reading on a small screen.
Yeah, well, no, I'm blowing this up because I'm blind, and like when you move over as if from left to right as you read, it wants to go to the next picture. So I want to resume exactly where I left off. We'll jump back across. I never came across any person who did not have a great heart and genuine love for the integrity and pure intention of the original series. Sorry, it changed their lives for the better. It gave them comfort and joy, with a moral view that is exceptional 33 years later. I love each and every one of you. Just my honest opinion. Hashtag thank you. Hashtag original. Hashtag She-Ra Princess of Power. Hashtag you're just fine.
Well, that's, I mean,
that's going to be her thing. You're just fine.
Well, like,
hashtag you're just fine.
That's cool, though, because you don't really find a lot of actors or actresses or anybody really that like take that kind of stand of, if someone likes the original cartoon more than what has been doing now, then that doesn't, that doesn't make them any less valid of a fan because they prefer the old over the new.
No, it doesn't make them a pervert either.
No.
When you're comparing, it's just cold hard facts. She-Ra of yore was in her late 20s, we'll say. I would even say early 30s, just like He-Man was in his early 30s. And so, I don't know. I mean, she was just more mature. And that's crazy to say about a cartoon from that time, more mature. But I'm guessing that's what they're trying to inject into this new thing, this new She-Ra. She's younger, and she's got friends who are princesses, and so it's princesses of power. Well, it's going for that My Little Pony dollar, I think.
Yeah, the kind of the same things happening on TV with the DC titles that are doing pretty well. DC seems to do rather well when it comes to TV series. They just fall flat on their face when it comes to movies for the most part. A couple of the new ones coming out look pretty good, but they have a really bad track history. Like Supergirl, Arrow, The Flash. If you notice, they're all teen oriented. Supergirl's like teen girl oriented.
It's a soap opera.
Yeah, they've started doing their little crossovers with Arrow and The Flash as well. So
I tried to watch Supergirl like as much as I could. My friend Ben, who will join us on this podcast one day, he loves Supergirl, but even he petered out and couldn't watch it forever.
For what it is, it's good. Okay, and it is.
If you're a 13-year-old kid, you're gonna love it.
It's teen soap opera-ish. It's for that 12 to 15, 16. Maybe 17-year-old bunch, and that's not a bad thing. It's a good.
Better than the crap I watched when I was a kid. I'll have to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I
watched Super Force. You remember that show?
Oh God, yes. Don't remind me.
I am Super Force.
But it's a good ushering in with it, especially those three titles that have been consistent with a lot of seasons on TV. You can take Supernatural's another one like that, but DC they. Speaking of The Flash, I saw something that they were talking about releasing a Flash Year One comic series that kind of akin to what they did with Batman in the Year One, and it's going to take place in like the same Barry Allen timeline as like Adult Flash. So I don't know if he's going to have flashbacks or
flashbacks.
I didn't see a whole lot of details other than they're going to do Year One, and they were saying that it
the
was
Flash
gonna be...
timeline has become like a broken mirror to me, so I just can't follow it so much. I guess I'll have to have somebody drunkenly explain it to me one day at a con.
No, that's going to happen.
Yeah, that'll happen sooner or later. I'll just be like, what's the deal with all these Flashes and different universes? You can't even talk to Supergirl. They're not in the same universe. What the hell?
And then they're talking. I read something the other day as well. DC again, and this is probably more of a marketing ploy for like the new movies coming out, but they're ending the Suicide Squad at number 50.
And then they'll restart it again.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably going to be a restart
they're
because
just ending the run of the Suicide Squad
because they've tapped. Somebody had a hunk of brain and hired James Gunn to direct the new Suicide Squad movie coming out. So what? It's probably going to be really good.
That's what happens when you fire your talent for no real reason. That's what happens. Now let's see what happens with this movie. It's going to be hilarious.
You know what though?
And I don't even like the Suicide Squad.
I'll
watch James Gunn's work.
I was going to say I will watch a James Gunn Suicide Squad movie.
Now, what's funny is I did recently hear some of the awful tweets that he got in trouble for. It was just being an edgelord, I think. But like,
yeah,
if you don't know what that kind of thing is, like if you don't know what that kind of sort of humor is, you're just gonna see it and go, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, and he admitted that's what it was.
He used to work for Troma, for God's sake.
Yes, seriously.
Watch a Troma movie.
We have touched on Troma in last episode. You need to go listen to it. But
Troma has movies about dicks that crawl around.
Praise be to Lloyd Kaufman and Troma.
And there was like Troma's got a movie like it's a shark, but it's a dick.
One of my favorites, Tales from the Crapper. Come on.
Yeah, and then or get Troma Dance and look at some of the shorts that Troma's picked up. Even
anybody that can get Lemmy Kilmister to quote or recite Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Come on. You know?
That was on Tromeo and Juliet, I believe.
It was.
Which was pretty graphic. Which had the monster dick dream in question. Juliet had a nightmare about Paris's dick, and it was, or no, maybe, I think it might have been Tromeo's. It doesn't matter. It was somebody's dick, but it was just a monster penis with a face on it. It looked like it belonged in a Guar video.
Pretty much, yeah.
But
so yeah, I will definitely watch anything that James Gunn does. I will definitely watch.
You know, now that I think about it, you can't be edging and edging, not edgy. You can't be an edgelord like that, infantile, and also expect to retain your job at Disney.
No, like Disney would never in a million years hire Dave Brockie. You know, they would have a stroke his first day on the job if he were still alive.
Yeah, Disney, man, Disney has dancing Darth Vader, so I lost a little faith in Disney. They're just hurting my Star Wars. Hurting my Star Wars. Yes, no.
Hurt my Star Wars, boy.
I got some Star Wars news.
Oh, go ahead with that.
Well, like, I never really bothered to look up who wrote it or anything like that. It just was like kryptonite to me.
Okay.
And I didn't want to know the person's name, but now I do. And now I know why it sucks. He got fired from Marvel. The guy's name is Chuck Wendig. And he got fired from Marvel for acting like he acts right now. He's being a giant SJW online and preaching, to the fan base. And also, let me just repeat here just a few of his posts. I'm going to put all the ones I found up on the screen here in a bit. But let me just read. It's for the people who are just listening and not looking at the video feed. Star Wars writer Chuck Wendig calls for violence against Trump supporters. He said that Star Wars fans come from a tainted wellspring of toxic male and white privilege.
Wow, okay.
What a terrible thing to say to your fan base. And let's see, Wendig writes, "They will tell you to smile, to get back to business, that we gotta heal, blah, blah. That's the desire of a savvy bully who wants you to stop crying after he hits you, who wants you not to fight back, but you can cry and fight back. They are all rapist monsters who can eat a boot covered in shit." Those are two of his different quotes.
Well, he was fired from Marvel. Actually fired his ass because of his negativity and vulgarity and how much political wackiness he was spouting off his Twitter account.
Yeah, and which he's still doing. They just moved him. I mean, Disney just moved him from Marvel to Star Wars.
Like they said, he went on a tirade when Marvel fired him. He was
it's like the Catholic Church.
Yeah, he was
hiding the priests.
They say I bring too much politics, too much vulgarity, and too much negativity on my part.
Yes.
And yes, you do.
Yes.
Marvel's trying to write stuff and make movies. They're not trying to push a political agenda, pal.
You gotta stop using it's a platform. Everything's a platform for my politics.
No, it's not.
No. Life is a lot more nuanced, and and multi-leveled and complex than that. And you're right. You're poisoning the well. Like in the Magicians, it's like when one of the gods took a shit in the magic well that supplied all the magic to everybody that uses magic. You know, you're doing that.
So he's been the one that's been writing this abysmal Star Wars.
I'm sure he hasn't been doing it alone, but he's the one getting all the credit for it. So
well, I mean, he's as good a scapegoat as any, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, some of his tweets are worse than that. There were just too many of them for me to write down here and read out loud. But I got screenshots. They're appearing on the screen as we speak. But yeah, that's all I got on him. I don't know there's nothing. He's not being punished or anything like that yet. But if he keeps it up,
if he keeps getting fired from work,
I would imagine Disney should have just fired him immediately, just like they did James Gunn. But James Gunn wasn't calling for any violence or anything against people. He was just talking about kids and how they taste when you cook them and fillet them and blah blah blah. He's like Gargamel with the kids.
Oh yeah, and if you want some earlier references, go listen to the Guar album "We Kill Everything,"
or just any Guar album for that matter.
Yeah, so "We Kill Everything" specifically. That was one of their better ones, but also one of their more graphic ones.
Or there's a song by them that came off another album called "Have You Seen Me?" So put in Guar "Have You Seen Me?" and listen to that song.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say any more
and
about
lose
it.
your little mind.
Lose your little mind. Oh, man.
Wrestling news. Yes.
I didn't look up any.
Oh, I did, though. And I see some controversy going on, even though I hardly keep up with wrestling anymore, as we've talked about previously. But this kind of caught my attention because it just stinks of trying to bring the old guys back and trying to bring old fans back, because apparently Shawn Michaels was trying to end his semi-retirement from the injuries, and he and Triple H were going to have a DX reunion.
Jeez.
Now,
Sean,
couple things.
Go ahead. I got something funny to say about Sean Waltman, but you go ahead.
I was going to say a couple things. Sean and Jean Paul both have a list of injuries as long as my leg, for starters.
Yes.
2, stop trying to dig up the past.
It's gone.
It's done.
Do something new.
I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, people. You guys are getting old. Stop torturing yourselves. Stop.
No, I mean, I know they're just dangling money in front of them, and they gotta say
but still, I mean,
because the wrestlers themselves will be the first to tell you when they get old and stuff like that. Like, they don't really want to have to be doing it, especially Sean. 1, 2, 3.
Do more cons.
Yeah, I was about to say that Sean, the 1, 2, 3 kid Waltman.
Wow,
I'm not putting him down. I love him. But he
X-Pac.
Yeah, X-Pac. He told this story of how he's it was worse than tore his anus. He completely separated his anus.
Oh.
Doing the Bronco Buster.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Just think about it. He's old. His anus prolapses while he's going up and down.
Dude.
Because of his flesh is old, and it just flips inside out. And then he comes down on it with all his weight.
I'm glad we're close to Halloween so we can actually get away with some of this.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to drum up sympathy for him. Because that's happened to him twice.
Dude,
he tells a story with a smile on his face.
Dude, I'm hurting thinking about that. Okay.
No shit. But he's had
literally.
That happen. It cuts it off in a ring because of all your weight coming down on it. So you literally cut your butthole off. And he had to have it reattached twice. And so I'm sure he's not.
No.
You'd have to dangle some change in front of him to get him to.
I'm not. No,
because he's got other things going on, right?
You cannot dangle enough. If that happened to me once, I would be done.
Before anyone sends me hate mail, let me go ahead and do something nice and plug his thing that he does with comedian Ron Funches. They're pretty funny together. They met on that show, Getting Dug with High, and so Ron Funches and X-Pac have a podcast they do called Get High, Watch Wrestling. And they basically get stoned and they MST 3K over wrestling from different eras. Even common, current era and old stuff too. And so, give them a listen. There, see, I don't hate Sean Waltman.
No, but I'm sorry. Like if that happened to me once, I'm like, I'm retired. That's it.
Yeah, and I never stopped to think that a move like the Bronco Buster, if you do it your whole fucking life, that it's gonna affect you like that.
Me either.
And now I started thinking about all the wrestlers' finishers and stuff. How they had to do them over and over and over and over and over again.
Or like all those figure fours that Ric Flair's done over how many years.
His knees have to be powder.
How many Boston Crabs, the model Rick Martel did. Who else did the Boston Crab? There was somebody else that did
Sting would do a few, and he would do the Scorpion Deathlock.
Yeah, and Bret Michaels had his version, the Sharpshooter, which is the same move.
Yes. And wasn't like Triple H's pedigree just a DDT?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm going to do
oh no,
pedigree when I do it. It hurts more.
The Sheik, man, the camel clutch.
The camel clutch. I break your back. I make you humble.
Man, that stuff will break your neck if you pull back too hard. That is, yeah. Some of those old school wrestling moves, man. If you did not do it the correct way, you could seriously hurt somebody.
And a lot of them, like some of the old pros, they do what was called working stiff.
Oh yeah.
Which means they don't really pull their punches a whole lot. They really are popping the shit out of each other in the face.
Oh yeah, I remember some matches where like they're like especially some old Wahoo matches where they start just slapping the hell out of each other in the chest.
Wahoo!
And that whack, you hear whack. It's like that's not fake.
Wahoo
they are
McDaniel.
Actually hitting each other that hard.
Chief Wahoo McDaniel. Oh yeah, all the greats, the cream of the crop. I was thinking about Randy Savage the other day. I was driving along and I hear in my head just going, the cream of the crop.
So other wrestling, going back to the DX thing, there was another side note that they were supposed to be doing this at the Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. So now that is up in the air whether the DX reunion is going to happen or not because of all this reporter stuff that's going on with Saudi Arabia right now.
Reporter stuff?
Yeah.
Do they have more hostages that they're beheading?
No, there was a reviled reporter that mysteriously disappeared from the Saudi consulate in Turkey a few days ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be taking my hot chicks and stuff over to Saudi Arabia, I wouldn't be taking my
No. This dude was
WWE.
a reporter. Like he was reviled because
the reporter disappears, right?
Yeah.
And Saudi Arabia clearly hates American way of life, and certainly they don't really like our women the way that they present themselves. So what makes you think that WWE would be safe over there? Like maybe some prince sees one of the girls and goes, "She very pretty. She disappear very soon."
It's probably on a U.S. military base or something like that.
Yeah, I would hope.
But kind of.
I would really hope it's a USO sort of thing.
Yeah, but something along the wrestling lines. Read something the other day about John Carpenter teasing another They Live movie.
Yeah, you can't have that without no Roddy Piper.
I was about to say, that might be good, but
that's Roddy's vehicle.
Yeah, it is.
You better have somebody that looks like him playing the part.
You better have something good.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say. I mean, that's like replacing Kurt Russell.
Oh wait, never mind.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Roddy dies at the end of They Live. That's right.
No, he was still alive at the end.
Yeah, he's laying on the top of that building.
Yeah, he got shot, but he was still alive.
He was flipping off the aliens, and he had a grenade, I thought, that blew him in the
whole
building.
You know John Carpenter, man. Every John Carpenter movie, what happens? The ending's left hanging. Okay. There is no clear ending to any of John Carpenter's movies.
Yeah, I always took away that he died, and I was like,
No. That's just like the end of Big Trouble in Little China. He's driving off in his truck, and he's on the CB, and the sewer monster just pops out of the tailgate of the back portion of the rig, and there's closing credits. Or the end of The Thing in 1984, they've blown up the entire, station and everything and killed the alien, and it's Kurt Russell and one other dude, and they're sitting there
you're the thing. No, you're the thing.
No, they're sitting there in the cold, in this busted, burning station, what are you going to do now? And it ends that way. You know, the list goes on. Escape from New York and Escape from L.A. both are the same way.
I don't remember any of those movies.
Oh, God. I mean, I've watched most all of John Carpenter's movies, aside from the Halloween movies, of course. Along with, rather. But, like, you know, Escape from New York, it ends with him walking off with some sort of confessional cassette and, like, ripping the tape out. And then, like, the end of Escape from L.A., he shuts down the entire energy grid of the planet, and he lights a cigar and says, "Welcome to the human race," and it goes off, you know. So, like, I don't think I've ever seen a John Carpenter movie that actually has any sort of conclusive ending.
There's a movie that needs another one. Let's have another Snake Plissken movie. It doesn't have to begin with escape, but it could just be, you know, a Snake Plissken vehicle, because
Snake Plissken, the elder years.
Well, you know, maybe you could make him a badass right before Kurt Russell goes completely soft.
I don't know. Kurt Russell's still doing some pretty good movies.
Yeah, but, like, you know, get him before he's too old. You know, or have him be an old Snake Plissken with some sort of younger student to pass the torch to, or something like that.
I'm sure there's something, but yeah, with all of the talk of, like, making new stuff, that's one thing that I'm just kind of really, really iffy on. Like that, I'm with you in the fact that was Rowdy Roddy's movie. Yeah. And I don't know, man.
Wasn't no, wait, that wasn't that actor. Sorry, I was gonna say the guy he had that 10-minute fight with.
Keith David, I think it's.
Yes, it was Keith David. Thought it was someone else, but no, it was Keith David.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
that was one of the
longest fight scenes ever.
I love it, man. That was one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
And I was thinking when I saw this, I'm like, that's kind of real because I was 15 when I saw the movie, so my voice was higher. Like, that's kind of real because in a real fight, you wouldn't just have a couple of minutes like it is on TV. It would be a struggle.
Yes,
a total struggle. We were at a con with the lady with the cute eyes from that movie. I forget her name now.
Which one?
From Escape, or from They Live. She was at that Days of the Dead Atlanta last year. Not Megan Fox. It's
Meg Foster.
Meg Foster.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you remembered.
Yeah, which we actually talked to. If you want to look at the rest of the stuff on our page here, we do have some interviews up from that Days of the Dead. We do talk to Ernie Hudson and Malcolm McDowell and a few others.
And we'll get more celebrity interviews as time goes on. We'll be getting something this December when we go to Jekyll Island Comic-Con. Won't say who just yet because I didn't write it down.
And we're still like getting everything together for that one as well. So we'll probably actually release it after we're done with the convention.
It's somebody who plays a character on Arrow. I'll just say that. And so, did you hear that Alec Baldwin called for an orderly overthrow of the government under Donald Trump?
An orderly overthrow?
Yeah, he's talking in one side of his mouth about voting, and we have an orderly fashion in which we do things, and in this orderly fashion, we gotta overthrow the government of Donald Trump. I'm like, wow, it's not that bad, Alec.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around orderly overthrow.
And he has this spooky talk about a small cadre of people who are bad on immigration. And they hate women.
I mean, the very definition of an overthrow of a government usually involves
no voting,
some pretty violent action.
Yeah, a lot of people are speaking in language like that, like the guy from Star Wars, you know, calling for violence against Trump supporters by saying they should eat a boot covered in shit. But that's only after he got in trouble for saying something more violent. And he came out, you know, with this sly. Eat a boot. You know what that means when you eat a boot. Come on. It's not like he wants him to take a knife and a fork and cartoon eat a boot covered in shit. But anyway, Alec Baldwin, you are so useless. You are useless, Alec Baldwin.
Oh my God. Okay, on that note, I think that's all we have time for this week.
Right. While you are out there, may you navigate the internet safely.
You guys take it easy.
We'll see you next time.
I was sent from planet Gyron to conquer the Earth. I had a terrific plan, I thought it would work. Tried to get the Earthlings all to kill each other, you see. But it all went wrong and now I must decree. You are worthless, Alec Bowen, you are worthless, Alec Bowen. You failed in every way and now my stock in you has fallen. Your career is stalling and you're worthless, Alec Bowen. That's why I blew your head off and your children are all boring. Planet Giron is inhabited with Zypods like me, but also with Balmacs who are giant beasts. The Zypods and the Balmacs are at constant war. So we wanted a new home, and that's what Earth was for. But you are worthless, Alec Bowen. You are worthless, Alec Bowen. You fucked up my whole plan, and now Giron is smeared with Balmac pollen. Your garbage needs some hoeing, and you're worthless, Alec Bowen. Now I must return home a failure. I'm afraid the pit of Cry Rock is calling.